Once upon a time, in the golden sands of the Arabian desert, there lived a poor tailor and his young son named Aladdin. They lived in a small house near the market, where merchants sold spices, silks, and shining lamps every day. Aladdin was a cheerful boy, full of energy, but he never liked working. He spent most of his time playing with his little monkey, Abu. His father often said, "Aladdin, one day you must learn to work hard. Laziness brings nothing but hunger." But before Aladdin could grow up, his father fell very sick. Soon, the poor tailor passed away, leaving Aladdin and his mother alone. "Mother," said Aladdin, "don't worry. I will work at the shop and earn money. You won't have to starve anymore." He started working in his father's small shop, fixing torn clothes and helping customers in the market. One hot afternoon, a tall man in a long dark robe walked into the shop. His eyes shone strangely under his hood. "Are you Aladdin, son of Mustafa the tailor?" the man asked softly. "Yes, sir, but I've never seen you before," Aladdin replied curiously. "Who are you?" The man smiled. "I am your uncle. I have been living far away for many years. I only heard about my dear brother's death recently." "My uncle?" Aladdin gasped. "My father told me he had a brother. I'm so glad you came back." "Yes, my boy," the man said kindly. "And now I will show you a secret that will change your life forever." "A secret?" Aladdin's eyes sparkled. "What kind of secret?" "Follow me tomorrow," said the man. "There's a hidden treasure buried deep in the desert. You are the only one who can take it." That night, Aladdin couldn't sleep. His mind was full of dreams about gold, diamonds, and shining lamps. At sunrise, Aladdin and the stranger set out on camels, carrying water, bread, and a small fire pot. They rode for days through burning sands and cold nights, until they reached two tall mountains divided by a narrow valley. "Here we are," said the man. "Gather some sticks and light a fire." When the fire was burning bright, the man threw a handful of sparkling powder into the flames and whispered strange words. The ground began to shake. The sand moved like water, and from beneath it, a great marble stone appeared with a ring on top. "What's happening, uncle?" cried Aladdin, trembling. "I'm scared." "Do not fear," the man said. "Beneath this stone lies a treasure that belongs to you. But you must obey my every word." He handed Aladdin a shiny golden ring. "Wear this. It will protect you from danger. Now, lift the stone and go down the stairs you will find. At the end, there's a garden of fruit trees. Do not touch them. Walk straight ahead until you see a burning lamp. Pour out the oil and bring the lamp to me." Aladdin nodded bravely and pulled open the heavy stone. Below it, a dark staircase led deep underground. He took a deep breath and stepped down carefully. The golden walls glowed faintly under the light of his torch. Soon, he reached a magical garden full of colorful trees. Their fruits shone like gems, rubies, emeralds, and pearls. "They look delicious," he whispered. He plucked one apple, but instead of fruit, it turned into a red ruby. "Wow!" Aladdin said in wonder. "These are not fruits, they are jewels." He filled his pockets with shining gems and finally saw a small lamp burning quietly on a marble table. He picked it up, poured out the oil as told, and began to climb back toward the surface. "Uncle, I found the lamp," Aladdin shouted from below. "Please help me out." "Give me the lamp first," the man yelled impatiently. "Then I'll pull you up." "Help me first, uncle. It's dark down here," Aladdin begged. But the man's voice turned cold. "Either give me the lamp, or stay down there forever." When Aladdin refused, the man shouted a spell. The ground rumbled, and the stone door slammed shut. "Uncle, uncle, let me out," Aladdin screamed, but the only answer was silence. Aladdin sat in the darkness, his heart pounding. He shouted until his voice grew weak, but no one came. Days passed. He had no food, no water, and only the dim light from the lamp to keep him company. "Oh, if only I could see my mother again," he whispered sadly. His hand brushed against the ring his uncle had given him. Suddenly, the ring began to glow. A puff of blue smoke rose from it, and out came a small glowing spirit. "Master of the ring," said the spirit, bowing, "I am here to serve you. What is your wish?" Aladdin's eyes widened in surprise. "Please, take me home. I want to see my mother." The spirit spun around him like a whirl of light, and in a flash, Aladdin found himself standing in his own house again. His mother gasped when she saw him. "Aladdin, my son, where have you been? I feared you were gone forever." Aladdin hugged her tightly and told her everything: the stranger, the cave, the treasures, and the old lamp. When he showed her the lamp, she frowned. "It's so dirty, my boy. Let me clean it before we sell it in the market." She rubbed the lamp with a cloth, and suddenly, a thick cloud of smoke burst out, filling the whole room. When the smoke cleared, a giant figure appeared. His eyes glowed like fire, his arms were strong as mountains. "Master," said the genie in a deep voice, "I am the slave of the lamp. Speak your wish, and it shall be done." Aladdin and his mother fell to the floor in shock. "A genie!" cried Aladdin. "Are you real?" The genie laughed. "More real than your hunger, boy. Now tell me, what do you wish for?" Aladdin's mother spoke first. "We are starving. Please, bring us food." "Your wish is my command," said the genie. With a clap of his hands, golden plates appeared on the table. Roasted meat, sweet pastries, buttered bread, and steaming rice filled the room with delicious smells. Aladdin and his mother ate until they could eat no more. "This is a miracle," she said joyfully. For days, they lived happily. Aladdin sold the silver plates one by one and used the money to buy clothes and food. Time passed. Aladdin grew taller, wiser, and more handsome, but his heart still longed for something greater. One bright morning, Aladdin walked through the market with his monkey Abu, enjoying the busy sounds of merchants and music. Suddenly, a loud voice echoed through the streets. "Close your shops, everyone! Clear the road! The princess is coming! Anyone who looks directly at her will be punished," shouted the guards. Aladdin's eyes widened. "The princess? I've never seen her before. I must see what she looks like." He quickly hid behind a row of barrels near the road. Abu climbed up a pole to get a better look. Soon, a golden carriage appeared. Inside, behind silk curtains, a beautiful girl looked out for just a moment. Aladdin saw her face. Her eyes were bright as stars, her smile gentle like the moonlight. His heart stopped for a second. "She's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen," he whispered. "I will marry her someday." When he returned home, he couldn't think of anything else. "Mother," he said, "I've seen the princess, and I love her." His mother almost dropped the bowl she was washing. "What nonsense! She is a princess, and you are a poor tailor's son." "I don't care," said Aladdin firmly. "Please go to the palace and ask for her hand in marriage. Take our jewels as gifts." Aladdin's mother sighed, but she loved her son dearly. She wrapped the shining gem fruits in a silk cloth and went to the palace. At the palace gate, the guards stopped her. "No beggars allowed," they shouted. But when the sultan saw her bowing with the silk cloth in her hands, he grew curious. "Let her come in," he ordered. The mother knelt before the throne. "Your Majesty, my son Aladdin loves your daughter and wishes to marry her." The court burst into laughter, but the sultan raised his hand. "Silence! Let me see what you have brought." When she opened the silk cloth, the room gasped. Inside were fruits that sparkled like rainbows, rubies, emeralds, diamonds. "These jewels are unlike anything I've ever seen," said the Sultan. "I am impressed, but your son must prove himself. Tell him to bring me 40 golden trays of these same gems," said the Sultan, each carried by 2 richly dressed servants. "Yes, Your Majesty," she said, and hurried home to tell Aladdin the Sultan's condition. When Aladdin heard the news, he smiled. "Don't worry, mother, the genie will help us." He rubbed the magic lamp, and at once the genie appeared in a burst of golden light. "Your wish, master?" Aladdin explained what the Sultan wanted. The genie nodded. "It shall be done." Within moments, 40 trays of jewels appeared, each carried by 2 magnificent servants in glowing robes. Aladdin's mother gasped in wonder. "Oh, my boy, this is beyond magic." The next day, she went to the palace again. The Sultan was astonished when he saw the shining parade of servants and jewels. "You have impressed me greatly," said the Sultan, "but your son must build a splendid palace for my daughter before marriage." Aladdin laughed softly. "That will be easy," he said, and rubbed the lamp once more. "Genie," he said, "build me the most beautiful palace in the world, fit for a princess." The genie bowed. "As you wish, master." With a wave of his hand, the ground outside began to sparkle. By morning, a dazzling white palace stood tall, shining brighter than the sun itself. A golden carpet stretched from Aladdin's new home all the way to the Sultan's palace. The Sultan watched in awe from his window. "This young man truly deserves my daughter." He sent for Aladdin, who arrived on a white horse, wearing royal clothes made by the genie. The Sultan smiled warmly. "You have proved your worth, Aladdin. I give you my daughter's hand in marriage." And so, Aladdin and the princess were married. The kingdom celebrated for days with music, lights, and joy. But the evil magician, far away in his land, learned through his dark crystal that Aladdin was alive. He was furious. "That foolish boy still lives, and he has my lamp." He planned revenge. Using his dark powers, he discovered that Aladdin had become rich and lived in a grand palace. The magician disguised himself as an old merchant with a long white beard and a kind smile. He carried a basket of shiny new lamps and walked through the city shouting, "New lamps for old ones! New lamps for old ones!" Children laughed and followed him, thinking he was a strange old man, but his eyes burned with wicked plans. That day, Aladdin had gone hunting. Only the princess and her maids stayed in the palace. When the princess heard the merchant's call, she smiled. "What a funny man. Let's see what he wants." She looked around and saw an old dirty lamp sitting on a shelf. "This looks ugly. Let's trade it for a shiny one." The maid took the old lamp and gave it to the man. He grinned wide, his heart racing with excitement. As soon as he left the palace, the magician ran to a dark alley and rubbed the lamp hard. The genie appeared in a burst of light and smoke. "Master of the lamp, what is your command?" The magician laughed loudly. "Take this palace, and everyone in it, to my land far away." The genie obeyed. The ground trembled, the sky flashed, and in a blink, the whole palace vanished. When Aladdin returned from hunting, he found an empty field where his palace had stood. People whispered in fear, it was magic. His palace disappeared into the air. Aladdin's heart broke. "My love, my princess, what have I done?" He fell to his knees in despair. But then he remembered the magic ring. He rubbed it quickly, and the small spirit appeared once more. "Master of the ring," said the spirit, "why do you call me in such sorrow? Bring me to my princess." Aladdin cried, "I must save her before it's too late." The spirit spun around him, and in an instant, Aladdin was carried across mountains and deserts to a strange land. There, in the distance, stood his palace, shining beneath a foreign sky. He crept close, hiding behind trees, and saw the princess sitting sadly by a window. Aladdin's heart ached as he saw the princess weeping. "My love," he whispered, "I will save you soon." He waited until night fell, then disguised himself as a traveler and entered the city quietly. The magician was celebrating in the palace hall, laughing with pride. "Now I have both the lamp and the princess." Aladdin slipped into the palace and found his way to the princess's chamber. When she saw him, her eyes widened in joy. "Aladdin, is it really you? How did you find me?" He smiled softly. "Love showed me the way, but we must be careful. The magician still has the lamp." Aladdin whispered a plan. "Tomorrow, serve him a drink with this sleeping powder," he said, handing her a small pouch. The princess nodded bravely. "I will do it, for us." The next evening, the magician sat down to dinner. The princess smiled sweetly and poured him wine. "To your victory," she said. The magician grinned, "To my power," and drank deeply. Moments later, his eyes grew heavy and he fell asleep at the table. Aladdin rushed in, grabbed the old lamp, and rubbed it quickly. The genie appeared, larger and brighter than ever. "Master, I am ready." "Genie," said Aladdin, "send this wicked magician far away where he can never harm anyone again." The genie's eyes flashed. "As you wish." A gust of wind lifted the magician and vanished him into the desert. The princess ran into Aladdin's arms, tears of joy shining in her eyes. "You saved me, my hero." "Genie," said Aladdin, "take us and the palace back home, to our true city." The genie bowed, clapped his hands, and the palace rose high into the clouds. In a flash of golden light, everything returned to its place just as it had been before. The people cheered when they saw their prince and princess again. "Aladdin has returned. Long live our hero." The king welcomed him with open arms and declared, "You have proven yourself wise, brave, and true." A grand coronation ceremony was held. Aladdin was honored with a crown and robes of gold, shining brighter than the sun. He and the princess walked together through cheering crowds, their hearts full of joy and love. The kingdom celebrated for days. Music, laughter, and lights filled the streets. People danced in happiness. Aladdin used the genie's magic wisely, helping the poor and making his kingdom prosperous and fair. The princess and Aladdin shared their love and wisdom, ruling side by side with kindness and courage. The evil magician was lost forever in the desert, never to trouble anyone again. Aladdin remembered the magic ring and the lamp, knowing that true courage and cleverness could overcome all danger. He and the princess lived happily ever after, their hearts full of love and their kingdom full of joy. And so, the story of Aladdin and the wonderful lamp became a tale told for generations, inspiring all who hear it. The end.